Welcome to channel RVLA 97.222 on the dial, where all the news is true. This morning we have as our special guest Professor Zbigniew Bird to talk to us about the crisis that is occurring in our own neighborhoods, where bird populations have dropped by over 50% in the last 40 years. We will learn what everyday homeowners and gardeners like you can do to reverse this terrible loss. And now here to welcome Dr. Bird is our own Willamette Valley girl, the head of on-air programming for channel RVLA, Joni James Audubon. Take it away, Joni.
Thanks, Bill. Hi, everybody. Today's show is going to be so awesome because our guest, Dr. Bird, is like really smart. I talked to him for about an hour and he is so cool. He's foreign or something because he has a really weird name, Zbigniew Bird. So I think I'll call him Biggie, like Biggie Bird. Is that okay with you, Biggie?
Well, JJ, you're the head of on-air programming here. You're the airhead, so you can call me whatever you like.
Cool. We are going to have an awesome time because you are so smart. And I was just predestinated for this job. My older brother used to tell me I was an airhead, and look, he was right. That's so cool. But enough about me. Here we are on location in RVLA Gardens with our special guest, Biggie Bird, and he's going to talk to us about plants and birds and trees and stuff like that. And you know what? A lot of the people around here are also interested in birds and bees and plants, and they're kind of old. Isn't that cool? But come to think of it, my grandmother was old. And so was my grandfather. Maybe I'll be old someday, too. That's hard to imagine.
Yes, JJ, that is hard to imagine, but what I've come here to do is to talk with you about the birds and the bees and the flowers, but probably not the way your grandmother taught you. Here it is. In the plant kingdom, you should know, are plant princes and princesses who turn the sunshine into food, performing photosynthesis. Plants take up minerals from the soil to make nutritious tissue, and plants produce our oxygen, a fundamental issue. And every animal on Earth eats plants, or eats the bugs that eat them. In short, all life depends on plants. Be careful how we treat them.
And every animal on Earth eats plants, or eats the bugs that eat them. In short, all life depends on plants. Be careful how we treat them.
Now, you and I know every plant is not equally tasty. There are some plants that poison us if you eat them too hasty. The plants, you see, would rather grow and, like us, reproduce. That's why these plants make chemicals of toxic, icky juice, so that they won't get all chewed up, but find a better fate recruiting insect foragers to help them pollinate. But insects, just like us, we know, still really need to eat. So they evolved digestive juice, the plant's juice, to defeat. And over the millennia, these creatures have evolved to both meet their survival needs, their antipathies resolved.
Rend the air with joy and laughter, let all mirth and joy be found. Plants and insects ever after, in mutual support abound. And every animal on earth eats plants, bugs that eat them. In short, all life depends on plants. Be careful how we treat them.
That's really weird, Biggie. You mean birds eat, like, insects? That is so gross. I thought birds just ate things like berries and seeds, and then there's hummingbirds that like sugar water. But insects, that's disgusting.
Well, JJ, birds do eat all those things when they're big enough. But baby birds are too tiny to eat those things. They need to eat little, soft things that have lots of protein and fat. Things like caterpillars. Especially, they need to eat caterpillars. If there are too few caterpillars, there won't be any baby birds to grow into big birds.
Three little birds from the south are we, all that are left from our flock you see, looking to nest in a shrub or tree. Three little birds are we. Three little birds from once were merry, no longer sing like a pet canary. So few of us that it's downright scary. Three little birds are we. Three little birds are we. Three little birds from the south have come. Two little birds with no food succumb. If one little bird is the total sum, no little bird you'll see. No little bird you'll see. Three little birds in this year's migration, faced with the fate of near starvation. Caterpillar bugs are our one salvation. Three little birds are we. Three little birds are we. Three little birds from the south have come. Two little birds with no food succumb. If one little bird is the total sum, no little bird you'll see. No little bird you'll see.
Wow, that would be a bummer if there were no birds in summer. Hey, summer or bummer, I made a rhyme. Maybe I should come work with you guys.
Well, that would be just fine, JJ. But first you'll need to learn the difference between plants that grew up in this part of the country where we live and plants that have been imported from other places like China or Japan. We need to know which plants were native here when the first people who lived in America were living here.
You mean there's like a difference? And I would have to learn all about different plants, big ones, small ones, all kinds of plants, even trees.
Yes, JJ. Even trees, different birds use different trees for different purposes. Some make their nests in trees. Some birds, they hunt from trees. Some birds scurry through the trees in order to find food, in order to find insects. Some trees, like oak trees and cascara trees, make many, many caterpillars, which make many, many butterflies, unless those caterpillars have already made many, many baby birds.
So you mean that insects evolved with trees together just like they did with flowers and shrubs.
Yes, Jay?
That is totally awesome.
Yes, it's wonderful, JJ. The natural world is one interconnected web of plants and animals that evolve together, and all the parts of the web need each other if they're all going to survive together. Some birds, look through the shrubbery looking for insects. Other birds soar high in the air or perch on great tall trees and look down to see where their food is.
A wandering kestrel I with talons, beak, and feathers, soaring in sunny weathers, while hunting for various prey. My menu it is long, I dine on many creatures, with fur or feathered features, and tails an inch or two long, with tails an inch or two long. Now I find I am left in the lurch, with no lofty limb for my perch, and with sharp eyes survey the deep shade for my prey. It's as empty as Mondays at church.
Oh, Biggie! That is like totally sad. I didn't know that. I thought plants were just supposed to be pretty, like pictures on a wallpaper.
Well, JJ, that is what some seed catalogs and some nurseries would have you believe. But remember what I taught you at the very beginning of this talk. Not all plants are created equal when it comes to providing what it is that birds need to survive. Not all plants are able to produce the food that little birds need. They're not able to grow the caterpillars that those little birds need. Trees and shrubs that evolved in Asia don't provide those kinds of services to the birds that evolved in this part of the world. I talk to the trees, but they don't listen to me. They speak Japanese, and they don't understand me. Their branches and leaves are graceful and lovely, it's true, but they have no food for me. I'll tell you why I'm blue. It is no mystery. You would be hungry too. Please, when you plant trees, know I am counting on you to care about me. It's true. So you see, JJ, nearly all plants are beautiful in their very own way, but not all plants provide the services that these little creatures need to find food, to feed their babies. If we're going to have big birds in our lives, we need to have those little creatures that feed the baby birds.
Got it.
Here are a couple books that can help you learn which trees and which shrubs and which flowers are really helpful for the birds that live in this area. This little one here, Native Plants for the Willamette Valley Yards. It's free from Metro. It has pictures
Pictures.
and tells
Other
you
pictures.
everything you need to know about what this plant needs for sunshine, for shade, for water, when to plant it. It's a wonderful book. And if you really want to understand what I've been talking about today, then you should get this book, Bringing Nature Home, by Dr. Douglas Ptolemy. And if you really, really want to know, you'll need to read it.
Thank you so much, Biggie. I have learned so much today. It's just totally awesome. And I am really interested, and I probably will even read these books. And the people around here, I think they've probably read these books too. They're really interested in this stuff. Tell us, guys, what have you learned?
What have you learned?
So many kinds of sweet flowers grow in Willamette Valley gardens. Oregon natives make a lovely show. Those we miss, you'll surely pardon. Huckleberries, trillium, ocean spray and Indian plum, kinnikinick, wood strawberry, checker, mallow, columbine, yarrow, Oregon sunshine, in the Willamette Valley gardens. Roses we all love to see, French oak with some Chazy, Douglas Lester, 2 kinds of Mahonia, elderberries, Nootka rose, sword and different we propose for Willamette Valley gardens.
In the plant kingdom, we now know are plant princes and princesses who turn the sunshine into food, performing photosynthesis. Plants take up minerals from the soil to make nutritious tissue. Plants produce our oxygen, a fundamental issue. And every animal on earth eats plants, or eats the bugs that eat them. In short, all life depends on plants. Be careful how we treat them.